Hello, everyone. This is LCID 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for Love is Blind Mexico. I've got to say that Mexico, welcome aboard this Love is Blind train. And after these few episodes, you are a welcome addition. Okay? You have not disappointed. So, for those of you joining me, please like, share, and subscribe. We are going to be covering relationship shows, especially Love is Blind, and having some fun with it, even with some heavy topics. I will ask that you certainly, leave a comment if something, compels you to leave a comment. But for full disclosure, my aptitude for Spanish only goes to high school. I have visited quite a few places and used my high school Spanish, some successful, some not. So I did watch this with the English dub and the English subtitles. So I am watching and commenting on this edited show based on edited English. I did not listen to the people directly. So please bear that in mind when you hear my recap and review. So, as my title says, buckle up. Buckle up because Mexico takes us for a wild ride, and I'm here for it. So, the host and hostess, again, with Every Love is Blind, they have a local celebrity couple who has been married for decades, and he is an actor and comedian, and the hostess is a life coach with a very high IG following. So, first impressions of the show. First impressions. I absolutely love the decor of Mexico. It gave it a fresh look. I love the oval doors. I love the oval decor and frames on the wall. Fresh look, fresh colors, same old pods, but whole new face. I absolutely love how Mexico kind of, even if it's the same production studio they're using, it has a wonderful fresh new look. So we learn more from Mexico about how this process goes, and I'll keep on mentioning it through my recaps. And it says in the first day, you have 10 minutes to talk to everyone. So everyone gets 10 minutes to shine and make an impression. And then from there, you kind of rank who are your favorites and who are not, which I think is excellent. 10 minutes, heck, talking for 2 minutes could be long. I've already talked for just over 3 minutes here. So 10 minutes is long enough to kind of rip and run and kind of get an energy and perspective of somebody. So we meet Fernanda. She is an architect, 36, and she has chosen self-care for the past few years, to prepare herself for her next relationship. Then we meet Gerardo. He is 33 and a musician. He is open to discussing a move to Mexico City. Apparently, she lives in Mexico City. He does not. I am not versed with the geography, so I'm not sure how far they are, but it is mentioned. He says the past has taught him to be honest and never cheat and be upfront, and he's not a jealous person. Gerardo, my concern with this is the past shouldn't have told you not to cheat. It shouldn't have told you to be honest. Just being a good person should tell you that. You don't need the past to teach you to be honest. So ding ding ding, my radar is going off a little bit because Gerardo, were you dishonest in the past? Did you cheat in the past? I'm looking at you. I like you, Gerardo. But I'm kind of looking at you a little bit now. So they both apparently love to rock climb. Even though he rock climbed a long time ago, she's very into fitness. And if you see her, Instagram, she's into rollerblading. She's into rock climbing. She's very into fitness. And when she went down that path, Gerardo was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That was a long time ago for me. I'm not in the gym all the time. I'm not doing activities all the time, but I am, no slouch. So with her being all about fitness and him being like, let's chill with that, we'll see how they go. He says he writes music, and every new date is a new ranking. And I completely understand that. I completely, you're meeting all these people for 10 minutes. Yes, you'll have this as a new player comes on board. I shouldn't say player, as a new date comes on board, you have to fit them into how you felt with the others previously. And that is a tough thing to do. And unfortunately, it is a matter of ranking. So then we meet Mafa. She is 29 and in marketing. Now, let me just say this. They introduced us to Fernanda, then Gerardo, and then they introduced us to Mafa with her date with Gerardo. Love is Blind Mexico. I am loving the transition and the introduction of this cast. I have to say, the Love is Blind Mexico has a very smooth flow to it. So far, has a very smooth flow. So I'm like, okay, she's with him, and then we'll see her with somebody else. And that's how we learn the whole cast, which is, it flows for me. So Mafa is into music too. So she, sings and performs. She's a free spirit and likes a man who fights for what they want. Yeah. Mafa, the fighting, a little bit concerning. Fight physically, or are we talking about, don't be a pushover if you see a romantic rival? I need more info, Mafa. So Gerardo says he's a wannabe hippie. And she's like, but she likes to party, but she can be home and chill on some Friday nights. I don't see them blending too well. I don't see the homebody musician Gerardo blending too well with Miss Wanna Go Party. But then I don't see him with Fernanda so much since she's all about fitness. We'll see how they get along. Then we meet Chema. Chema is 36. He's an entrepreneur and he is a professional poker player. Now, let me tell you this. I have a family member that did professional poker for a bit. Didn't reach high ranking, but Chema, I am watching you. If you are a great poker player, you have a poker face, and are we seeing the real you, or is this the poker you on the show? We'll see. Chema likes to dress well. He likes to flirt. He is Fig 3 certified on the stock exchange, businessman, poker player. And he says his stare is intimidating or seductive. It depends on the mood. Okay. Because I know that poker face, you got to have a poker stare. So what are you trying to do across that poker table? I know you're trying to be intimidating. Then we have Alejandra, 28, and an opera singer. She's affectionate and a romantic. She likes to touch souls. And she likes to challenge the norm. I like Alejandra. She has this wonderful girl next door quality, I would say. Opera singer, quite impressed. That is, such talent and gifts. I wish we could have heard something when they cut away to people. I wish we could have heard something of her singing, which I could just imagine. I'm an opera fan, people. So pardon me if she comes off on the top for me because of her talents. Chema says he likes, her energy. He likes Alejandra's energy. Chema is from Mexico City, And Chema, his next date is with Sylvia, who is 30 and a curvy model. Sylvia is curvy, and she feels judged by society. One, she's a model, and she is not the, more aesthetically slender model that is, in the magazines and everywhere. And she does feel society judge her. But I do applaud Sylvia. She has a very, bubbly personality. I do applaud her for even entering modeling and continuing to pursue it, even though people may judge her harshly. So Chema does say he's a Leo and he focuses on the physical. If he likes the physical, then he'll make a move out in society. Sylvia is a Sag, and she says that means pure passion. Passion. I mean, okay, Sylvia, you just heard this man say he's all about the physical, and then he's all in. And you explain insecurities about being a curvy model. I'm not sure I'm understanding this pair up with the both of you, other than y'all are completely hilarious, great energy, great vibe with each other. But I just don't see it. I just don't. We meet Fernando. Fernando is 27 and an operations manager. He wants an empathetic woman. He is a serial monogamist, and he is a gentleman. And he puts loyalty as number one. Serial monogamist, he just would prefer to go from one relationship to the next and not really play around. That does sound great, but I'm not too sure. Something about it screams something else to me. But that's just my, interpretation of watching the show. Then we have Rocio, who is 36 and in HR. She likes loyalty, fidelity, wants a family, dedicates herself in a relationship, says she cannot balance work and family. And she wants a provider so she can just focus on her family. So I'm like, the gentleman she was talking to was kind of cringing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. It turns out Rocio and Iris, they say it as Iris. It is spelled, I would have said Arias, but they say Iris. They are friends in the outside world. They are friends. Iris is 30 and a lawyer and says no one meets her expectations. She wants respectful. She wants someone to listen to her and how she feels. And she's always wanted to marry a doctor. This is while she's speaking to another contestant called Renee. Renee is a doctor. And so she was just oh so giddy. This is Iris. She was oh so giddy. Oh my gosh, she's a doctor. And I'm like, sweetie, Iris, this is about Renee, not his occupation. He may be a doctor, but is he the doctor for you? And is this the little girl's dream, or is this the grown woman's dream as well? But having a checklist and someone meet all of your expectations, I'm worried, Iris. Because sometimes when we come with a list, that kind of holds us back from achieving certain things in love. We got to let that list go. And she says she will know who's for her based on their energy. And I can understand that. You can't see them. You only can talk to them and vibe with them. So I totally get that. Renee explains he is a doctor and he likes beer. He likes to travel. He likes to go to concerts. That's Renee. I'm liking Renee's vibe. I like Renee's leather jacket too. Renee, I could hang with you. Iris is like, okay, he's a doctor, and maybe we could work with that. We go back to Fernanda. Her most important relationship is with her family. She has a 25-year-old disabled brother. And this is Renee. We transition from Renee having a date with Iris to Renee having a date with Fernanda. So she talked about family and having to take care of her brother in the future, and how that relationship with her brother has caused her to, be, very open with, a gentleman she's seeing, because she will have to be her brother's caretaker once her parents have passed. Also, she is considering that she may not want children because she will also have the responsibility of her brother. So she wanted to let Renee, who she was dating at the time, know that children may not be in the cards for her because of this. I thought this was a very mature conversation. Absolutely mature conversation. I applauded Fernanda for talking like this. They both realized that they both lived in Madrid for a period of time. She said, he said he lived in Madrid. She's like, me too. He loved dancing. She's like, oh my gosh, I love dancing. And she's like, oh, you like spicy dancing. He's like, that's me. I love Renee's vibe. Renee was really, really cool. They seem very compatible. She seemed very compatible. And I am not sure, even though they seem like they have similar interests, I'm not sure about something. They seem compatible, yet something is telling me under the surface, like pump the brakes a little bit. So we move on, I guess, the next day or the next few dates, because if you're doing 10 minutes with everybody, we could be finished in a day, give people a chance to, chill and relax. So Chema and Sylvia had another date. So that means they were at the top of each other's ranking. But he did not recognize the voice. He did not recognize it was Sylvia's voice. And she was like, what do you mean you don't recognize my voice? And he said, don't get toxic on me. She says that's her specialty. Red flag, flag on the play. Both of you. Chema's like, don't get toxic on me. Maybe it's the choice of word I don't like. It's like, don't get too riled up because we only talked to each other a couple times. I'm not going to remember hearing all these voices. Okay? Chill out. Relax. And her saying that toxic is her specialty. Sylvia, I would not say that to a man I'm interested in. I definitely would not. Toxic is my specialty. Chema, why are you intrigued by that? Do you like a bit of toxicity as well, Chema? So he said he can sense the energy, between them is really, really good. And then she asked him about using toys in the boudoir. Why am I using French? And this is Love is Blind Mexico. I am sorry, y'all. I am just like in the bedroom. I find this a little quick, and these folks may have been talking for 24, 48 hours. I do find it's quick, but they get right into it. Fernanda and Gerardo talk about it. They say sex is important. She has ended a relationship because of chemistry or lack of chemistry, and she is not into sharing her partner with anyone else. He says he wants a wholesome love. She agrees with him, and He wants complete and mutual understanding. And love to him is peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. While I recognize the peace, is the quiet to tell me to hush, don't talk too much? Is that the quiet? And as a musician, I understand you valuing quiet. I understand, it probably helps you creatively. But when you do play your music, it will cease to be quiet. But I'm understanding you a little bit, Gerardo. So Iris and Fernando have a date. He likes that she is very direct. She wants someone to add to her life and be her ally, be her cheerleader. He's kind and respectful, and he wants to see his partner's dreams come true. One thing I do feel, even though he says he likes Iris being direct, Iris comes off really, really strong. She's always calling him her husband. And when she started this, she's like, what do you have there? Do you have my ring already? Are you ready, husband? And he's very tentative when he's saying that he likes her. And I'm wondering if it's because she's so already saying, husband, husband, where's my ring? That he's thinking, if I tell this girl I like her, she's going to be all in and there is no escape and I may be smothered. That's what I'm getting. I don't know what Fernando is getting. And she's pushing. She is pressuring him. If we had to decide right now, would you pick me? Fernando says, no. Fernando says no. And her face, shout out to editing. I'm going to keep on praising editing for Love is Blind Mexico. He says, I need deeper information. I need to know more. And so she smiles. It's like, okay, we're going to go there. We're going to get deeper. And she's like, they're the best couple there. Lady, this is not a competition to be the best couple. It's not. Are you there for love or the competition? Or is the lawyer in you pushing forth in this relationship or potential relationship? Because I feel like she's the lawyer with him, like pushing, pressuring, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm not sure. So then Iris decides to talk to Rocio, which is her friend, and decides to say who she's interested in, which is Fernando. And Rocio says, I am happy for her. I'm happy. Don't be worried. If he's meant for you, that's okay, because love takes many different twists and turns, and we never know. Loved that interaction with them, but something, I was like, that's mature, a little too mature, or is it my toxicity stepping forth? So we have another date with Sylvia and Chema. He wants to grow with someone by his side to grow into a better person. And he had come to a realization before the pods that he may be single for the rest of his life, that he, would be a bachelor. It kind of set off a red flag. If you came to realization that your life, you were going to be a bachelor, are you ready for this? I didn't hear where he, this helped him change his mind or something helped him realize he needs a partner in life. Then he did disclose he has a daughter, but he never really dated or was exclusive. So she asked, if having a kid is not enough to get married, then what is? Sylvia, I understand the old school sentiment, but the baby's coming. We don't necessarily have to get married. I understand, but he's saying they weren't really dating and they weren't really exclusive. So I don't see where the question of getting married will come in if they're not exclusive. Doesn't make any sense. And I wonder, would you get married for the sake of a child is coming? Sylvia, I have questions. So he appeases her by saying he'll get married for true love. So he's like, he believes in following your heart. He believes in, he believes in love, but he didn't believe he would find it. And he told her all about his daughter. And he said, I told you, and this was the first person he told about his daughter because she made him feel comfortable. And I'm guessing a part of that, I will add the word safe. Next on the date, we have Maffer and Gerardo. Remember, that's where we started with, Maffer and Gerardo. She said she's nervous, very nervous about this. Family is their topic. He says family is so important, and he always makes sure to say, I love you when he gets off the phone, when he ends a call with them, any interaction with family, he makes sure to say, I love you. She says she is, close to her family too. And then they both bond on the fact that their grandparents, both sets of grandparents for both of them, are no longer around. She said there are a lot of people she misses, and they both have a very emotional and touching session about remembering, their grandparents and the people they have lost. Both his grandmas, he says, were important in his life. One died of cancer, and she tells him that she smokes. And Gerardo, kind of wiped his tears and pulled back and like, hey, he'd rather his home not smell like smoke. And she's like, I smoke when I go out and hang with my friends. I'm happy she disclosed this to him. I'm happy she told him up front. But she has to realize, since someone very important to him died of cancer, and the fact that she smokes, he would look at that, a little deeper than the average person. She has to do that. I mean, she has to factor that in. So Fernanda and Maffa have a conversation in the ladies' lounge, and they talk about them both liking Gerardo. Maffa hopes that Fernanda finds the man of her dreams, but not her man. I'm guessing these ladies are claiming. Maffa is like, find the man of your dreams, but Gerardo, the boy is mine. Come on, Monica and Brandy. I was like, no, ladies. But it's just words. Nobody does anything, to attack the other or verbally spar. But she's just like, no, not my man. But Fernanda says she believes being open with the other women is the best thing. She doesn't believe in hiding these connections. She doesn't believe in, sabotaging or anything. She's like, be open, be honest. We're all dating the same people. I understand her, but Fernanda, sweetie, not everybody is mature. Not everybody can handle these things in a mature manner. So please be careful. So Fernanda has a date with Gerardo where she says it won't be easy choosing between her and Maffa. Why? Fernanda, why are you bringing up another woman's name on your date with him? Why? I have never understood this in the pods. Forget the other person, the romantic, competition, and focus on your connection with him. Oh my gosh. That annoys me to no end. But she tells Gerardo that she chooses him. She feels comfortable and at peace with her decision. She asks why is their connection so special? He says, no. We will not talk about connections. I want to talk about you. Now, is this mature or was he deflecting? But I agree with Gerardo. I'm not going to tell you who first, second, third, whatever, or I'm not going to talk to you about somebody else. Let's focus on you and I. So he said they did connect when they talked about wholesome love, and that's what resonated with him. Gerardo says, thank you for opening up and making him feel less scared being here. I can imagine. I can imagine Love is Blind being scary. I can just imagine the nerves they have. So Fernanda says, thank you for connecting with me and for, giving me a good time in the pods. I think that this was the most mature conversation I had heard in a while. In a while. It's like, okay, we're not going to talk about the other person. Let's focus on us. No decisions are made. It's still early because next we see on the screen, it's day 4. So all that I just mentioned happened in the first 2 days. Why are we looking for claiming in 2 days? I'm just confused. So Rocio and Fernando have a date. He wants to know if she wants to give up her life to be a mom. If so, then they're not compatible because he wants a partner who has, their own career, their own life, and not solely dependent upon him. He asks her if she's okay, and then she goes in on Fernando. She says she's okay, but Iris said that she was getting married to him. Iris came back to the ladies' lounge and said her and Fernando were getting married. Now, is she being messy? Or is this honestly how she heard it? Now, let me tell you guys what Iris did when she came back to ladies' lounge is she says, I'm getting married. I'm getting married. This is not the first time she has said that. This is not the first woman who has said that. But myself, I took it as, oh, one of these men are my husband. Or I'm hoping that this man proposes to me. I'm going to marry this man. That's how I take it. I am going to marry this man. Not that he proposed. So he says he does not want to feel like he's being sabotaged and getting all the girls to rule him out. If this is what Iris is doing, telling them that he proposed and he's basically locked down, then she's trying to interfere in his, experience. And he feels like he's being lied about. So Rocio gets Fernando really hot about this. And he's looking sideways at Iris in his mind. But he's like, he needs to talk to Iris and figure out what's going on. Then the next date we see is Maffa and Gerardo. Maffa gives Gerardo a blanket with her perfume on it, which I thought is really, really sweet and cute. That's really cute. This is what I smell like. You may not be able to see me, but you will smell me in a good way. She says this will this will let you get to know my scent. She wrote him a song. She's very nervous, but she sings to him. She has a lovely singing voice. I'm not sure the lyrics to the song. I'm not sure. They did not translate it. He tells her after she wrote him a song and sang it to him, that she's getting ahead of herself. And she says her biggest fear is abandonment. He says he will sleep on it. And she's like, I hope sleeping with that blanket with my perfume will help you think and bring you clarity. It's like, yeah, you're going to be sleeping with my scent. I hope it kind of seeps into your pores and you pick me. I see what you're doing, Maffa. I see what you're doing. Good play, girl. Good play. He's saying in his confessions that he has to break old patterns. And when they leave, he sends her a kiss and says, I love you. Why, Gerardo, do you say I love you to this woman when you are possibly going to end things. This is how people get confused. This is how people get the lines blurred. You have not made a decision. You'll make a decision later, but you're telling her, I love you. That is putting your hooks into someone. That is building their hopes up. Gerardo, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Mr. Musician. I'm looking at you real hard. So Fernanda and Gerardo have another date. She says she feels safe with him. She gave him a plant, an orchid. It was in a pot, and what you realize, she says, she had given her mom an orchid to show her love and affection. And while she nurtured, and she says she pours all of herself into something, this orchid gave off an additional shoot. And she clipped off and transplanted that shoot into this pot, and this shoot also has grown to create another orchid. So she has given him this piece or this shoot of this orchid in showing that when she pours herself into something, the love and everything she pours into it helps it to grow. Beautiful scene. Again, production, you're giving me all I'm asking for. You're giving it to me, production. It was a wonderful scene, wonderful meaning. It really did catch him off guard. He told her he was going to break up with Mafa, but he said he was going to break things off with Mafa, but then Mafa gave him the song. He was going to break up with her, but then she now gives him an orchid. Gerardo, you're sounding like you don't know what you want. You say you want to break patterns, but you sound like you don't know what you want. He says, Fernanda is a great catch. So this is really real. So what exactly is he going to choose? Because Fernanda, he says, is a great catch. So they leave you with a little bit of a limbo as to which woman will he choose. So Chema and Alejandra, which, again, that's the opera singer. Chema does share with her that he has a daughter, and the daughter has made him more mature. And he calls Alejandra, my darling, keeps on calling her darling. Now, again, we have these pet names, and that, creates familiarity, creates closeness. She did ask the daughter's name, and he said, hey, my kid is not your responsibility. She is mine. And she says, if you are my husband, I would want a relationship with your daughter. He said he has never had anyone ask him before, and she is the first to show any genuine interest in his daughter. No one has, in a relationship with him, has ever asked to have a relationship with his daughter. What is going on in Mexico? What is going on? How are you with someone and you never express an interest in their child? But I'm withholding too much fire on this because Chema seems, a little bit party here. He said he didn't date exclusively, So I'm wondering if it's because no one is around him long enough. He's just giving party over here, and there's not much seriousness with party over here. So Gerardo is having a confessional and says he never thought he would have feelings for two different people. And again, production shows him walking down the hallway, and he goes into his room, and he is speaking, and you don't know who he's speaking to. He says, what they had is real, and they had a great connection. But he has a stronger connection with someone else. And they pan over and we see he's talking to Maffa. Maffa. She says she will leave the communication line. No, he says he wants to leave the communication line open if she needs anyone to talk to. She had her hopes up and she said she gave it all in her song. And she's like, have a nice life. Have a nice life. Bye. He's like, I'm glad we met. She's like, same. Bye. My thing is, Gerardo, why are you leaving the lines of communication open? You just broke up with her and said you're going with another woman. You're going to propose in what, 2 minutes? Just down the hall? You're going to propose to another woman. Why would she want to leave the lines of communication open? But that's just me. I'm just a we done type of person. Then we see Gerardo go over to Fernanda. Says she gave him peace. He left a gift in her room, which are cut flowers. Gerardo. She gave you a plant which is living and growing. Why would you give her cut flowers that are going to die? Again, the disconnect. You know, you're lucky she's not a woman to go off like cut flowers. Oh my God, how could you cut flowers? She accepted it graciously, but Gerardo, read the room or read the signs, read the gift she gave you, and, you know, handle yourself accordingly. Said he proposes. He wrote her a song. He sang it. And do you know that Netflix production translated his song? Why didn't y'all translate Mafa's song? See, this is where I get into the inequality of the situation. Is it because this is his proposal song? Is that why you decided to translate his song and not Mafa's song? I'm watching y'all. So he proposes. We do not see their gift exchange because they had multiple gifts for each other in their pots. We do not see what they opened and what were the gifts. I'm okay with that. Some things for the couples could remain personal. He says he said this is how true love feels. She does say yes, 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 many times yes. And we end their scene. So our first engaged couple is Fernanda and Gerardo. We'll see how the meet and greet go. Then Fernando, because it confused me. I had a Fernanda and the girls and a Fernando. So Fernando has his talk with Iris. Ooh, I was waiting for this. He says he spoke to Ochio. I think that's what he called her. And he wants to hear Iris's side. And she said, hey, I wanted to marry you. I said I wanted to marry him. That's how I said it. He said he does not want to be involved in lies and in drama. That is not what he's here for. You better tell him, Fernando. I'm not here for playing the games and y'all doing y'all things in the ladies' lounge trying to sabotage me. He ain't here for the cat fights, y'all. He is not here for the fights. So Fernando says he wants no more date with Rocio. No more dates with the lady who told him about Iris. So in girl talk in the lounge, Iris goes and asks the lady, did I say he proposed? Did I say? They're like, no, but I said I wanted to marry him. Yes. How did y'all take that? They're like, that you want to marry him, that you think he's the one. She's like, okay, just checking. So she's like, she goes and talks to her friend and says, you wanted to make me look bad and for him to choose you. That's what it was. You wanted to sabotage my chances with him. And Rocio says, no, that's what I heard, because that's what you said. That's what I heard. Iris says, you know what? I need to distance myself from you throughout this experiment. If this is how you're moving, I need to distance myself. Now, both things could be true. Iris did say, you know, I want to marry, that's my husband, or I'm going to marry him, you know. But, you know, her friend could have seen it as he proposed. Why would you go around saying that's my husband or I'm marrying him if he hadn't proposed? Both of them could be on the line of right, but to go to Fernando and spill the beans like that, say, hey, have you proposed to anyone? Okay, just checking, and just leave it alone. Well, Iris said this, and that's why Fernando said no more dates with you, because you're gossiping, and he does not like that. And he was going to say no more dates with Iris if it turned out that she was sabotaging his chances with the other ladies. So put a pin in this, folks, because Fernando, what other ladies you talking to? What other ladies you talking to, Fernando? So we have another date with Chema and Sylvia. She is being a little pushy because she's like, have you practiced introducing me to your friends and family? Introducing me as your wife? Have you practiced it? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. She's like, are we cool? And he's like, keeps dodging the question. He's like, I don't know. What are you asking me? What are we talking about? And Chema, I saw you as a little player. It's like you were dodging that question like it was dodgeball. She's like, would you be sad? He said, would you be sad if we didn't meet? She's like, yeah, I'll be sad. He's like, just sad? Not upset? Just sad? I'm like, Chema, you poking at her. Why are you poking at her? And he says that he doesn't know about Sylvia because she hasn't opened up with him. They have not gotten deeper. No deep conversations. And I can understand that. Episode 2 starts with Gerardo and Fernanda. They're meeting. So we have the lights, the wall, Netflix, Love is Blind Mexico. I love the setup. I love the walkway. I love the pond with the lotus flowers and the little bench in the middle. Because it was Brazil that didn't have a bench. I'm like, where are they going to sit and talk? Beautiful, beautiful lighting. Everything is just beautiful. So the doors open. And she is like, he is so handsome. And he's like, she is stunning. He's like, she's a great kisser. And he said, life is like a jigsaw puzzle. And it felt like he found the final piece. They were really into each other. They seemed very into each other. And I'm happy for that, because with her being about fitness, I thought he's a handsome man. He has very intense eyes, but he's not, a gym buff, if you can picture that. So I'm glad that she finds him quite handsome. She said she was worried because all she saw was the silhouette, and he says he's a wannabe hippie. She's expecting a beard all the way down and some long hair with his wannabe hippie. But I'm glad. But Gerardo, life is a jigsaw puzzle. This is the final piece. I hope this is a song, because you have many pieces to go, dear. If y'all have kids, there are many pieces to go. Her family needs to be added to the puzzle. This isn't the final piece. This may be the beginning of the connection of another set of pieces. Rocio says she wants to talk to all the girls about her side of the things between her and Iris and what she told Fernando. All the girls feel like she wanted to sabotage Iris. They did not want to hear her. They were like, I'm staying away from you. I'm staying away from you. And she's like, this is not high school. This is not high school. We should all have a mature conversation. And I get the ladies. It's like, you ran to Fernando to tell him about Iris. Was that a mature conversation? Was that mature? Oh, golly. It baffles me when and how people want mature. Fernando says that the experiment makes you very, very sensitive, and he would not be this sensitive about those women talking if it wasn't for this experiment. So we get introduced to a new young lady who is on a date with Fernando. I love how they're, and y'all will see it in the episodes coming up, they throw in a new person, a new layer. So you see the person dating someone, and then they're like, oh no, we forgot to tell you, they have options. And here's one. Karen, 27, she's a personal financial advisor. Karen is a stunning woman. All the women are beautiful. All the women are beautiful. Karen is stunning. I tell you. I understand why, production, y'all left Karen till episode 2. So he asked her why she's here and how does she fall in love. And she's like, she focuses on inner beauty. She's been single for 2 years. She found out that her partner is gay. And she has an 11-year-old daughter and is divorced. I'm assuming it's not with her husband, her former husband. He said he's okay with her having a daughter. And, she says I'm not looking for a dad for her daughter. She has a dad. I'm like, what's going on, Mexico? How are we I'm wondering, are we saying this to kind of appease the other person, or is this really true? Because anyone you're with is going to have a place and a part in your child's life. I'm just not understanding, Mexico. Y'all are sounding like the US of A. So she wants an empathetic partner, and he's like, hey, you taking my line. That's what I say. They had a very cute date. So with the great transitions that Netflix Love is Blind Mexico does, we transition to Karen talking to Saul. Now, Saul is new. Saul is 35. He is a manager at an aviation company. He flies planes, but not commercial. He has a 14-year-old daughter. Saul and Karen, Saul asked Karen, what do you bring to the table? Ooh, I don't like that phrase. It gives me warning bells of a certain sphere. She says she spoils her dude. She gives flowers. She gives notes. He said he's never had that. He wants deeper relationships. He has a daughter, as I said before, 14. He has custody of her. Karen opens up that she also has a daughter. Remember, her daughter is 11. So kind of a good age group mix, Saul and Karen's daughters. And they had a great mutual date as parents and being, not fully single parents, but, parents and co-parenting. Really nice. So Iris says she's happy to share information about Saul with Karen, but she is not sharing information about Fernando with Karen. Because what's the song we said before? The boy is mine. Okay. Chema. Oh, these ladies are territorial. I'm sorry. I'm going to share about him, but not by him. He mine. Chema and Sylvia, she's like, she did not expect another date and asked if he feels anything. And he's like, well, obviously, since I'm here, deflection, Chema, deflection. I'm sorry. You got to be here. And maybe you needed to have a date to stay on the show. We don't know. But that ain't the way you answer. And she asked, how would you incorporate me in your life? And I guess their conversation was edited because she's like, I now finally see a deeper side of him. We meet Letty. Letty is 35, a political communications consultant and a bakery owner. Letty, I know about that bakery ownership. In high school, my best friend, her parents owned a bakery, and I would summer there and help out at the bakery. That's a huge responsibility. I tell you. I tell you. Letty has been single for 4 years. She has ADHD and is neurodivergent. That was how Letty described herself. Again, remember, Letty's date is with Saul. He's 35, manager at aviation company. He has the 14-year-old daughter, and says the daughter got jealous when he was coming on the show to find a wife. Because Letty had asked, well, how does she feel about you being here? You got a daughter and all that. What's going on? Letty tells him that she just got back from Guatemala. She had given up her apartment before, and it's just her and her little dog. Letty, do you have an apartment now? I hope so. I hope getting back from Guatemala doesn't mean you touch down and head to the show. Please, please, Letty. He says if he gets with Letty, he gets the best of both worlds. He gets a wife and a pet for his daughter, because the daughter always wanted a pet, and he's like, we ain't getting a pet till after we get, I get a wife. And I think that's good to kind of incorporate. I'm hoping he thinks if I have a wife, we can include her in the decision and include her in the pet deciding, is what I would think. Chema and Sylvia. Chema tells Sylvia, that, his friends and family are cool. And she's like, yeah, my family would totally welcome you. He says his dad died of cancer, and he did not want to see a doctor. They gave him months to live, and he lasted for quite a few years. She shares that her dad was told 5 times that he would not survive. And, her dad passed when she was young, and it changed her family drastically. And he says he felt a strong connection because of their loss. Are we trauma bonding? Are we trauma bonding? Is this the deeper Chema that you were looking for? Because this is not a stable foundation to build your castle. Chema and Alejandra, the opera singer, she said before her dad passed away, he came to her singing lessons, and that prompted her to push forth more in her singing. She feels the most connected with her dad when she is singing, and with that connection, it pushes her to do more in her career. She talks about the date with Chema and Sylvia and says it's a competition. Why, Alejandra? Why would you talk about Sylvia on your date? So Fernando has another date with Karen. She went into the boyfriend's phone, and that's how she found out he was with someone else, his male best friend. I am going to put a trigger warning here. If you are triggered by DV, please, fast forward probably, 5 minutes, just to be on the safe side, or wait, I will change the ticker back to entertainment purposes only to let you know when I have crossed this conversation. So she found out the boyfriend was with another man, and she told him she was going to tell his whole family. Now, telling the whole family, in the US, we call it outing a person. And sorry, sharing someone's orientation is not something you should say. Let them do it on their terms. I am not versed in how Mexico deems same-sex relationships, but still in the US, people are being unalived based on their choice of partner. So to tell and to say you're going to out him to his family, Karen, I know you're probably mad in the moment. You're probably very mad in the moment. But Karen, you are going to out him to his family. Then she said he grabbed her and she thought he was going to unalive her. That was how badly the DV incident was. I feel for you, Karen. No one, no one should put their hands on you for any reason. Any reason. He is wrong. I hope you press charges. I hope he's locked up, but I don't need to know all of that. But he should not put his hands on you. Karen, I need you to also understand what outing someone to their family. He reacted in fear. He probably thought he would be unalived. Again, I do not know how same-sex relationships are viewed in Mexico. But here in the US, sometimes it is not acceptable in families. And that can cause a huge rift. And he's probably fearful for his life as well. But that does not excuse him and what he did. It does not excuse him. I just want to bring a certain level of understanding of where he came from, but it is not at all condoning or excusing his behavior. She said they all blamed her, that she should have seen and known this was happening. I'm guessing it's the friends. Fernando says that his father was rude and violent, and he does not let violence touch any of his people or loved ones. He said his father cheated, and he cut off the relationship with his dad, and he doesn't want to even carry his last name. That is deep. That is deep for your son to get to a point of not wanting to use your last name. So, for those who did go fast forward, it is deep that Fernando, because his father cheated on his mother and it devastated the family and changed the family, it is deep for Fernando to say he does not wish to use his father's last name. That's something. I'm not sure Fernando is the only son, but if any of your children don't want to use your last name, to me, that is deep. So Fernando, we switched to him having a conversation with Iris. She asks about his other dates. Iris, this is not a cross-examination, Madam Attorney. Leave it alone. Stop asking about other people. He was honest. He said he's connecting with Karen. And he said things can change and they can talk to other people. Because she was getting real testy. Iris was getting testy. He could feel the heat from across the pod. It's like, whoa, why we carrying on like this? It's like, we could talk to other people. And he wants her to feel calm and to allow him to go through this process on his terms. Iris, you are locking down real quick. You don't want the man to go date other people? As I said, folks, this is day 4. 4. I'm scared. This is day 4. What is going on? So Iris has a date with Renee, where she explains more about her brother. Her brother has a disability. She said cerebral atrophy. She, goes further into how she would care for the brother and may not want kids, and that he made her feel very safe. But she was teary-eyed. She was emotional from her date with Fernando and how he's like, chill out, baby, relax. I have other connections. You have other people you could talk to as well. We're all exploring. So this is day 7 now. Okay, so I guess 4 to 6 was what I just talked about. Fernando and Karen, they talked about physical intimacy. He asked her, rough or gentle? He says he is energetic. And she says rough. He says, based on your DV experience, I would never have thought that would be your answer. Karen says something that's quite peculiar to me. And if you did not listen to the trigger warning section of this, I will make it abbreviated. Karen says here that she likes to and wants to experiment with other people with her partner in the boudoir, in the bedroom. Karen, sweetie, you just had a boyfriend that liked being with another man. You were going to expose him to his family. I'm wondering if it's because this was secret and withheld from you. She does say to Fernando that she would prefer another woman in the bedroom, but she is a swinger. She has experienced that, and she likes that lifestyle. Again, this swinger lifestyle is not in my purview, not in my color wheel. But I'm wondering, is the terms in swinging only another woman for Karen? But then why would you out your partner if they wish to swing with their same sex? It's very confusing to me. I have questions, Karen. I have questions. A lot of questions. Because I'm thinking swinging, you don't always swing in one way. Or you leave it open for your partner if they wish to swing either way, that they can. Or are you saying, Karen, you have rules to in which direction you prefer your partner to swing? Because it's kind of sounding like I can do, but you can't. It's very disjointed, Karen. Karen, I did not expect this from you at all. And Fernando, of course, is like, I'm okay with that. You want another lady in the bedroom with us? I'm okay. Sure. Let's do this. Oh, Fernando. Then we cut to Karen and Saul has a date. He says he has done a threesome. Yeah, not with another gentleman in the threesome. And she explained to him she swings and she likes it. I know they have to have this talk, but Karen is confusing me with this. I'm confused. Let me not dwell. I may do an entire video or live just on this, on Karen and her preference and what she allows, doesn't allow. I'm confused. I'm confused. Then we transition to Saul and Letty. She asked if she did not feel comfortable on the honeymoon, did not feel comfortable enough to have intercourse, would that be okay? Saul asked, why wouldn't she feel comfortable with him? After all this talking, all this chilling, I'm like, Saul, you didn't answer the question. And it's a valid question, Saul. Just because she's talking and she really feels you across the pod, when she sees you in person, she may not want to get physical right away. You have to also realize she's on camera. Remember, Letty is a political communications consultant. Letty's image is everything. Letty may not have the luxury of, being as open or as free on camera as others may have. So just keep that in mind, Saul. But even if she didn't, she may not be comfortable with you in the physical realm. And that's okay. But you didn't answer the question, Saul. I'm a little testy with you. He says he is respectful. He is a gentleman. She starts to relax. And, she says that sex is a way to de-stress and laugh. And he says it is to indulge in and enjoy. Saul tells the men it is the cameras why Letty didn't talk or didn't want to talk so much about sex. And he dropped Karen off of his list because of the swingers talk. Saul does not wish to share his partner. And that's a legitimate, concern. But Saul, you dropped Karen because of the swinger talk. Don't get dropped by Letty because you don't want to wait or, check in with her to make sure she's comfortable. Saul has a date with Karen. She asked if he didn't want to talk with her because he was really quiet. They gave us a little few seconds, but he was really, really quiet, didn't say much. And he's like, what do you mean? Totally dodging the question. So she picks up on it, or they edit out, her bringing it up. But she's like, how dare you judge me because I'm a woman and my, propensity for swinging. And she came to choose, not be chosen. You got to say that, Karen. You came to choose, girl, not be chosen. All well and good, Karen, but we ain't proposing to the men. Even though that is an option for Love is Blind Mexico, the women can propose to the men. Karen said, I came here to choose, not be chosen. But Karen, unless they edit it out, he didn't say anything. The swinger thing is because you're a woman. He just prefers not to share his person. So I'm wondering if Karen really likes Saul and it really hurt her or it really sting that he did not, share, or did not welcome all that she was. And I can understand being hurt, Karen. And if he hurt you and you, slapping out at him, I can understand that. I totally get that. So Alejandra and Chema, she wants to study in Italy. She wishes to get her study music more, a master's in Italy. Of course, Alejandra, you're an opera singer. He says he'll have a problem with being away from his wife and he cannot do long distance. He's done it in the past and it's not for him. We go to Letty with Saul. He asks, who will I have to win over in your family? And her voice makes him want to get married. She has a very nice, chill, mellow voice and way of speaking. And he told her, I'm falling for you. And he says yes to their connection is special and likes that she wants a life with him and his daughter. Saul, too, expressed that no one else he's dated has expressed that they wish to be with him and his child. What's going on? If you're seriously, quotation marks, dating someone, their child or children come into the mix. Letty tells the girls, is he for real or is he just talk? She cannot determine. So Letty and Saul has another date. He said he will be faithful because he has been cheated on. She says she's a good catch because with her ADHD, she can handle a crisis well. And does she love him enough to have a kid with him? I'm like, he is laying down the talk real heavy. Saul, are you, because she's a political consultant, are you campaigning, Saul, real heavy? Because you laying on the swab of the talk. I'm hoping it's genuine. I'm hoping it's for real because it is real thick. It's hazy in here. It's so thick. So Alejandra and Chema have a date. She gave him a painting to represent this personalities. It's like a watercolor painting, and gave him songs. The songs were lullabies that she hopes she can sing to his daughter if she ever meets her in the future. And if not, that, the daughter can, find the lullabies and understand the gift. He does not want to get in the way of her dreams or stop her from her dreams. And she wants to sing to his daughter and she will change her dream and change her plans for love. So I will ask that, and if you want to put it down in the chat, if you found love, you were going to Italy to study or foreign, whatever your dream may be, where it may carry you far from your partner, would you change and stop that dream for love for that partner? How would you feel if that person allowed you to change your dreams? And how would you feel if that person was encouraging you to pursue those dreams and be away from them for a couple of years or so? Because he cannot travel and leave, especially since he has his daughter. And then he has his poker tournaments, how he, handles, that's how he makes his money. He tells the guys, and they say, "You're just scared, Chema." Ooh, the fellas in Mexico really give each other some heart-to-heart talks. "You scared, Chema. Go for it. See what happens, because it may work out for the best." These men gave each other really mature advice. Karen and Fernando have a date. She gives him a picture frame. She says the picture frame is that she wishes to go to Costa Rica and they climb a volcano and take a picture and put that picture there. She makes him cry because she was like, "We're going to create memories and let this be our first memory, and the picture frame to hold that first memory." She's 100% a yes for him. He wants to tell the others to be respectful. And she's like, "Yeah, but if you want to still continue this and talk to the other," he's like, Karen, I don't want to talk to other people. I just want you. Karen, sweetie, I understand what you did there. It could be a little dark arts. Make sure, he said he 100%, make sure he say that twice. But also, Karen, you said you came here to be to choose, not be chosen. You were being chosen by Fernando. How does it feel, Karen? You have just been chosen. Did you also choose? We shall see. So, Karen and Iris, Iris says in the ladies' lounge, Karen meets up with Iris. Iris says, "I don't care to hear Karen's side. I don't want to hear her. I don't need to listen to her, especially not about Fernando." Ooh. Saul and Letty, they bond on playing chess. They both play chess, so he had a full board on her side, and he had half of a board on his side. I'm guessing they are the wonderful chess players. I don't know how to do it. My mental capacity for that is not there to be able to play chess and keep up with the opponent's moves without seeing it. Saul, that's absolutely mind-boggling to me, but that's just me. He reads her a letter. He says he came here for his queen, and he proposes and says, "Will you marry this pawn who wants to be a king to his queen?" Saul, you're laying it on thick, buddy. Saul, you're still laying it on thick. I want to believe you, Saul. Jeez, I want to believe you. Oh, this is wonderful. Letty says, "Yes, I will." Letty says, "Yes, I will." Chema and Sylvia have a date. She is crying because she cares and she likes him. And he's, wishing I could hug you, and says, "Day one has been amazing with you, Sylvia, but Alejandra is amazing too." And he's like, he's going to leave the door open until tomorrow when he makes a decision. And he says it feels like a game of poker. Chema, this is not poker. Chema, this is relationship. This is a wife. This is hopefully forever. It is not. I know. And let me preface this, Chema. I know poker is very important. This is how you also earn a living. Poker tournaments are nothing to play with, but technically it's still a game to be played. And I'm hoping that it's not just a game, that you're taking this as seriously as a poker tournament. Chema and Alejandra have a date. It will be beautiful, and their love will be the most beautiful thing either of them have ever experienced. That's what Alejandra says. So if he does not give them a chance, he will regret it for the rest of his life. Here comes Alejandra laying it on thick. Alejandra, are you related to Saul? Okay, I mean, girl. For me, Love is Blind, I don't like these. For me, it sounds like a threat. You won't regret it today. You won't regret it for the rest of your life. It's like, I understand you're hurt. I understand the person, may go with someone else. It's going to sting. But it seems like you're going to forget this for the rest of your life. I mean, it's a little bit thick. He says he will feel like a jerk for crushing her dreams. And he feels like giving her dream is what's best. Alejandra goes back to the ladies' lounge, telling the girls that she fully understands love and that Chema truly loves her. Now, Sylvia is listening. Sylvia is like, there's a competition. We ain't supposed to be talking about this. But I'm going to listen. You talking? I'm going to listen. Sylvia is my spirit animal. Alejandra said, this is what love is. He put her and her dreams first. She said other people she have dated, they have tried to overshadow her and overshadow her dreams. I can understand you, Alejandra. I can understand you. Karen and Iris. Iris says they don't have to explain feelings. I mean, Iris was just a little nippy with Karen. You have to explain feelings. Like, ooh, okay. Letty and Saul, because remember, Saul proposed and Letty said yes. They had their reveal. He says that Letty says he has a great smile. Saul says she is more amazing than he imagined. They made out on the couch. I mean, when I say made out, yes, he proposed. He got on one knee, put on the ring, and next thing we are baking out on the couch, which Letty says in her confessional is too intense. And I don't know how to react to things that make me uncomfortable. He is, very into this makeout session. He is, she has a wonderful gown that sweeps her neck. He kind of pulls it down her shoulder. He kisses her shoulder. Oh, your freckles are hypnotizing me. Saul says, he has a great co-pilot now. And, let's get out of this place and let's see, what the rest of the world offers to us. Saul, I need you to read the room. Letty told you she's ADHD and she's neurodivergent. I don't think you understand what that means. But even if she was not, I think you need to pull it back a bit and check in with your partner. Understand you are excited, you are happy. She's a gorgeous woman and she likes what she sees when she saw you too. Understand that's overwhelming, but pull it back. Take it down a notch. Maybe 2. Perhaps 4 would be good. So Fernando and Iris, she gives him gifts. She knows he has a connection. She gives him a beer that smells like her and says the connection is very real. Very real. And she brought these gifts for the man she wanted to marry, and she's giving it to him. She asks him, since this is real, do you wish to continue seeing me? Fernando says no. He does not wish to keep seeing her. Ooh, child. That one hit my soul. Fernando said, no. After all these gifts that she done sent us for my future husband, he said, mm-mm. I felt that. But again, Iris, you've been pressuring this man. You've been part of a drama thing. You've been, we don't know what else Fernando knows. But she does something real weird. And Fernando's face was like, rrr. She says, do you see Renee as an option for me? What are we talking about? We gonna talk to you just gave Fernando gifts for your future husband. He just told you thanks for the gifts, but no, I won't see you no more. And now you're gonna ask him that your roomie over there, Renee, you think he gonna be good for me? Girl, jeez, Louise. And it's because she says her concerns about Renee is, he says he likes alcohol, he likes to drink, he has a good time. And he's like, he has not witnessed Renee being out of hand. And we know love is blind. They got liquor. Liquor be pouring. They have that option. He said he has not seen anything of concern with Renee and his relationship with alcohol in the pods. Keep in mind, they've been here for at least a week. So at least one day, maybe he sees it. But then again, Iris, does Fernando know what your level of alcohol tolerance is in your partner? Renee may act a certain way and it may not seem weird to Fernando. Remember, Fernando said his dad, had some issues. He may have a higher tolerance when viewing that as weird than you do. So I'm just saying, I would have liked you to ask him more details, but then why are we talking about another person when you're in a date with Fernando? I'm just saying, I understand the question, but I wouldn't do that with Fernando. Now, after you gave him all them gifts, girl. So Fernando has a date with Karen. But before he had that date with Karen, he said it was weird of Iris to ask him about Renee. Just weird to him. So on the date with Karen, he reads her a letter. He gave her 2 sweaters. He came with 2 sweaters. That's for them to wear at Christmas. And he said there will be 1 more sweater for her daughter. This has moved her to tears, and he proposes. She says including her daughter in this and this memory means everything to her. So they have their meeting. They cut straight to Fernando and Karen meeting. You see, I like that. I don't have to wait for other people's dates to see. And she runs to him. I mean, when I say run, she runs to him. They are immediately kissing, says she is beautiful, but she says, he says she's beautiful, and she's just shaking. They both are very nervous. They are just, their voices are cracking, and they are just like, the other person is wonderful, perfect. What I imagined is just beyond perfect. And that kind of worries me when we start at perfection. Because if we start at the top of the mountain, it's only downhill from here. But I'm hoping they have a wonderful connection. Then they cut to Iris and Renee. Renee salty. Renee a little upset. We see it. But Renee tone, Iris can hear it. And Renee goes in. Yeah. She's like, nice to hear from you. He's like, yeah. We stopped talking. Why didn't you talk to me? Or why did you stop talking to me for 2 whole days? What's going on? And he's just not feeling this. He is not feeling this. And it was the end of episode 2. So I wish to thank you guys for being with me for the first 2 episodes of Love is Blind Mexico. Please like, share, subscribe. I am going to be doing episode 3 and 4 shortly so we can continue this and we can know exactly what's going on with Renee and Iris. You don't want to come back because this thing, Mexico delivers. Wish I could say deliver in Spanish. I don't know the word. Mexico, you are a wonderful addition to the Love is Blind family. You are giving. Thank you, Mexico. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. And please like, share, subscribe. Let other people know that you certainly enjoy this recap. I'm trying to give you play-by-play as much as I can. Sorry for this long video. It will get shorter. Once we have all our couples, it will be more condensed. But I thank you so much for joining me and see you on another one. And give me a comment. Let me know what you liked, didn't like. I love your comments from Love is Blind Brazil. And as I said in this one, buckle up, strap in, because Mexico is taking us for a ride. See you on the next one.